Today, I want to talk about the things that children do creatively and how to encourage children and their creativity and kind of to keep artifacts throughout your whole parenting years and how this will benefit the child. So, first, I just want to kind of begin with a journal that has been handmade by my son, all with illustration paper, nice high quality, I believe it feels like 80-pound paper. And then look at the detail in here on how this is working. And it's hard to see there, but you can kind of see the book binding there. There you go, as it focuses in. And you can see this craftsmanship done here. And of course it's signed on the inside. And also I have gifts like this one, which my kids know I love Minecraft, creativity, building, recreating, and restoration. And that's one of those games where you're able to practice what it's like to do in the kingdom. Because as kingdom kids and kingdom people, you get to redesign the earth that you live in. And you can do it spiritually, followed by physically, and different ways you can do it creatively. But the main thing, it gets you practice on how to make the world better, make the whole cosmos better. You have to come up with creative ways. And it still has things that people that oppose recreation and oppose improvement of the cosmos, they come to try to attack you and things like that, just like it is currently in today. So it's a good, realistic, simulation of what we're facing right now, and it does it in a fun way. So those are kind of two things. And so what I'll do is I'll put up on the screen some of the other things. So this first one is all the handprints of my kids, given to me, I believe it was on Father's Day. And on the right side, it has a picture of them. But it's very creatively done. And they used a existing board that I had because I keep a lot of art supplies, craft supplies around the house at all times. And I think that's one of the keys is if you want creative kids, then you need to prepare that creative garden for them to play in. So have the right tools, have the paints, have the crowns, the markers, the everything. And it's going to cost money. And just like everything else, if it's worthy, then you'll invest in it. So we only invest in the things that we love. And so if we love our children, we'll invest in them. So I invested heavily, my wife and I, and it's paid off. They think like no other people because normal United States education, you're not trained creative and critical thinking. It's more like just do what people say. So we trained our kids differently to think like kingdom thinkers that are always making the universe a better place. So with that in mind, that's kind of like how the kids were able to build what you saw there. This next one, this is just kind of like images from my library, and these are different things I've collected that the kids has given me that remind me to never give up the playfulness and fun and all that stuff. And there are things that you can build, things they built for me, things that they've created themselves that I've held on to because the craftsmanship was just very good. But again, it's just like keeping these artifacts are important because the children know when you are respecting them or disrespecting them. Sometimes it can be a perceived disrespect. So we have to be careful when they bring us a drawing or a painting and we don't quite know what it is. That initial response will either destroy them for the rest of their lives or cause them to grow for the rest of their lives. So just ask the Lord for wisdom on how to respond. A safe way is like, oh, this is beautiful. Can you tell me about these different symbols and what they mean and what the different objects are? And have them kind of talk you through. Because if you say, like, this is a great rocket ship, and they're like, oh, this was a house, that can hurt them. And so it's not something that we intend to do. It's usually ignorance, but it is damaging, and it can leave lasting effects on our kids. So just kind of ask the Lord for wisdom, and how to respond to them in love with excitement and things like that. Because again, they're learning their creative abilities and their technologies that they came from heaven with, and they're getting to practice them on earth, and hopefully with somebody that is advanced in crafting and building things in the other realm and bringing it into this realm, and to be able to kind of encourage them, because they're going to be future builders in the invisible and manifesting in the visible. So we want to encourage that. We don't want to stunt that. We also don't want to give them false hope. If they're bad at something, don't encourage them to do it. Encourage them to keep trying other things, and then eventually their gift will line up, and it'll make room for itself, and it's easy to support the gift that they're given and that they're operating in, along with the technologies, because it's never just gifts, it's technologies and other things. But the only way to find them and cultivate them is give them a garden where they can try everything, literally everything. And then the things that they are, their heart is drawn to and they're doing with love, then encourage those things, and it just makes it a lot easier. So this next one is kind of like a pastel that my daughter did for me, because she knows I'm a worshiper. And so she did this to kind of remind me of who I am as a worshiper that will never go away. And then below I have her daughter's paintings that they did at a very young age. And then my oldest daughter, her artwork, and well written, well illustrated. Again, these are keepsakes to kind of help me to remember and help them to remember their creativity, and to kind of continue to encourage them, because sometimes when we forget or we're going through hard times, we can look at these artifacts and they are physical reminders of our journey with our children. And there's some fun times, there's some different things, and I've learned a lot from my children, because what you'll find is once you'll reach a level with the Lord that you're no longer taught by pastors and things like that, the Lord has to start teaching you through your children, and that's when you can recognize the Christ in them, because they will say stuff that is so advanced that pastors don't even know about, priests don't know about, rabbis don't know about, and you know that that is Christ speaking directly to you, or Messiah if you are Jewish. But that's how you recognize, because no one would know this unless the Lord was with them and in them. So that's kind of beautiful moments that kind of make you smile and excited about life. This next thing, this is a sculpture done by my son at a very young age, very, very well crafted, and you can see it's the whole family on top of each other, and with dinosaurs around and different things. So again, these are things that have been around for many, many years, and we keep them as kind of those reminders, and it kind of instills a sense of pride in your children's work when they see their work displayed in a prominent place in the house. And everybody that visits for every party all throughout the years will see these prominent works of art displayed. Now this next one is this is inside my studio. So just again, it's encouraging paintings and drawings and gifts given to me from my daughter and my son, and just kind of reminded me of who I am as an artist and a creator, and to not to ever leave and get rid of my imagination, because there's a difference between imaginary and imagination. Imaginary is something that is not real. Imagination is something that's absolutely real. And so that's the difference between those. But this is a cute cartoon to kind of remind you that your imagination is real, and your friends that you meet in the invisible realm are real, just like Jesus showed us, because he had so many friends, and some of his friends manifested in physical form before, like his followers, just to kind of remind them that what we see in the physical realm isn't the only answer. And they were forbidden to talk about this because they would be put to death, because you're not allowed to believe in that type of technology back then. And for a lot of people today, they don't believe you're allowed to have that technology either. But that certainly does exist, and our children know how to do it. And we're learning as parents how to kind of steward those gifts and help them go between both dimensions, and just kind of encourage them in that. Also, providing a safe place, operating on love, of course. But those are kind of the things that I think about, and having that in my studio is a constant reminder that, hey, my kids are with me. Not only are they creative, but they're telling me about how much they love me and how much they love to see me create. And that kind of brought up this initial journal. It's currently blank, but what I need to do is start just doodling, creating, and building out different drawings to kind of show that the time and the countless hours put into that journal is not going to waste. It's actually inspired me. So every time I do something at journal, whether it's writing poetry or creating art, it's kind of like my son is now part of that journey with me. And he knows that he has contributed to my creativity as much so as I have created and provided that creative space for him to express in the means and methods and technologies that he feels comfortable in, and the different engineering things and mathematical challenges, and building things straight from mind to wood or mind to metal without any kind of drawings. It's just him having a conversation with God and expressing that conversation out into a piece that's never existed in this realm before. Much like how my brother does things through dreams and just spending that time in the heavenly realm, and then coming back to earth and building heavenly technologies on the earth, and then going to get those things patented and things, just so it now can be a touchable, tangible thing that the rest of the people that don't go into the heavenlies can actually enjoy and benefit from. Because yes, there's always got to be pioneers. There's always got to be people that are afraid to, or not afraid to do the impossible. They go out and bring impossible things into this realm, so everybody can enjoy them. Because that's the only way we're going to build a better cosmos, a better universe, a better world. However big your mind is, you're only limited to the size of your thought. But if you serve an infinite Father, then you have infinite thoughts, and there's nothing that can ever stop you. So I think if there's anything else in this, I'll throw that up on the screen. So right here, you'll see it's a box that has 3 drawers in it, and each drawer is for each of my children. And this has everything key or critical points of their history, from birth all the way until through their high school years and some college stuff. But I highly encourage you to buy one of these boxes from Walmart and start collecting the artifacts of your children, because once they get their house, then you can hand them their drawer and their future, and they have a record of their past. My mother did this for me and my brother, and so we have historical artifacts that just remind us of who the journey that we're on. Because just as we're on this journey with the divine, with the Father, with the Son, and Holy Spirit, we're also on a journey with our parents and our children and things like that. So these things, basically, my point is, there is no history if it's not written down, or if there's no artifact made from that. A lot of our cultures are found out the hard way of what happens if you have a history that is documented, if it's only through the mouth, because people don't respect the mouth, but they respect the things they can touch, because a mouth is just a spirit, it's just a breath, it's invisible. It expresses the invisible realm. But when you bring the invisible into these artifacts and then you're able to hand them off to their children, now it wasn't just your imagination. These were real events that occurred in real history, tangible history. And so that's what I want to get across today, is just enjoy these things. They're fun. Look at them as opportunities, and don't take life too seriously, because this is a fun journey. And share that fun, share that love with your children, and you'll never regret it. Love you. Talk to you later.